Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I'm reading for Pisces energy today and we're looking at a New Year's reading. What are we leaving behind in 2021? What are we opening ourselves up to in 2022? I say we, I'm not a Pisces, but I wish I was. Pisces, you're beautiful. I was kind of getting like this spicy Pisces thing, which I get for you a lot, right? Spicy Pisces. And the song that randomized for you was Never Gonna Leave This Bed by Maroon 5. So I never had the strength to control you. So I don't know if that's someone singing to you or the way you feel about somebody else. It's a nice song, I want to say. I'm never gonna leave this bed. So Pisces. Oh, I've got goosebumps. Oh, I've got those really nice goosebumps. Oh, that was nice. It was like full body goosebumps. So yeah, somebody's having a nice time. All right, Pisces. So I'm reading for a week on Saturday, please. Brown bear spirit, take a time out. I mean, maybe you are. Maybe you're like, I'm never leaving this bed, right? Christmas was hard on me. I'm having a break. I'm just gonna self-care. I'm gonna hibernate. Wake me up when springtime comes. Brown bear spirit, take a time out. And what else, please, for Pisces? Page of Earth. Ten of Fire there as well. So you get this a lot, and it's so funny. I don't want to look at what the other cards are just yet. I got a glimpse of what was under there, but I'm going to ignore it for a second. I love this card. It does, for some reason, it gives me Pisces energy. Now, normally the Page of Cups is normally Pisces, but this little guy, there's something about him. There's something about the way he's all dressed up with branches on his head like antlers. He's got this big fairy wings, and he's dressed a bit like a Native American. And he's like, I'm hearing Apache, so I don't know if that's something specific for somebody, Apache. But he's exploring and he's using his imagination, and he's got that gorgeous little explorer, like, oh, it's just so gorgeous. So for me, this is like preteen, when a little boy is still young enough that he doesn't care, and he's going to run through the woods and kind of like play cowboys and Indians and like all those kind of things. I was just really aware there that I said Indians, which Native Americans, please come on, people. Like my mum, when she was in college, was part of the Native American something society, which was very well intentioned, but I can't help thinking 70s cultural appropriation much. So I don't know why that's coming through. I don't know, like maybe because he's got feathers in his hair as well. Maybe there is something going on where maybe having discussions with children about why you use the term Native American and not Indian, and like maybe you're looking at the history of America, or empirism, is that even a word? Like the history of empire and the migration of people and the impact this has on the native communities. Maybe that's a discussion that you're having. But what I'm kind of getting here is this waking up. It's like this, like Pisces being in hibernation. I mean, my daughter's singing in the background. She's getting a bit loud. This like being in hibernation, being like, I'm never going to leave this bed, maybe spending a lot of time in bed or just in the house, right, in winter. So it's like going through winter in this kind of hibernation energy of like being at home, being at rest, resting and rejuvenating, being warm, eating warm, nutritious food like soups and stuff. I'm just getting this real kind of like hibernation energy. Also noticing maybe he's put a bit of weight on, I don't know. Some of you, maybe this is your partner, I'm just saying. But then it's like coming out and being ready to explore again, maybe coming out with your cubs, right, coming out with your children, coming out with the children of the family, or just coming out and feeling like young and fresh and ready to explore again. So this feels like springtime energy, right? The snow's melted, the sun's rising, you can feel the warmth of the sun on your skin, and you're going out and you're exploring, and you're kind of having fun with that. So this kind of options energy coming in as well. So coming out of a hibernation period, perhaps a period of healing, kind of like that Four of Swords or star energy of like needing a spa day, needing to nurture yourself, needing to provide for yourself for a while, needing to kind of lay low and just have that quiet period. And then like coming out again, ready to explore, but having a lot of different options, perhaps being a little bit overwhelmed by the amount of options there. It could be after a period where you've closed out old contracts as well. So 2021 could have been a period of your life where you've been old soulmate contracts, you've let people go, perhaps you've you know, changed careers or been, you know, ended a certain career path that you were on. It's just letting things go, burning out those old contracts, whatever that means to you. Yeah, and going into life with a very young energy, with an energy that's open to experimentation, open to exploring, open to investigating the world, coming up with a plan and having a lot of options. So, oh, is that it? Are we done? I feel like I need to get more cards. That was a really short reading for you. 5 minutes. No, that's not good enough for my Pisces. So let's find out more then about, I mean, this is a really good energy because it is coming through as student energy. It's like this openness, this willing to learn, this ready to explore. So there's something going on here though, isn't there, about, can you see how these things are circling her? Capricorn has something in there reading about always being overwhelmed by perhaps all the love and support, the you know, the messages that you're receiving. Interesting. There's something in that as well, because I feel like I lost my mum this week. I didn't lose her. She's still around. She's just in a different physical form. She's not in a physical form. She's in a spiritual form. So I have been getting a lot of messages from people who I've not spoke to for a long time, or, you know, like family, friends, you know, reaching out, and, you know, the messages, they're all kind of the same, you know, and they're well-meaning. There's nothing bad about them, you know, people lending the support, people saying, I'm here for you, I'm sorry for your loss, and these kind of things. But it just feels doesn't necessarily feel like, I don't know. I think I'm coming from a place where these messages were coming through yesterday, like on the day. I was in a place where, like, I just didn't want to talk like, I didn't want to have conversations. I didn't want to have to think of the words to say. I didn't want to have to say the right thing back. I was just like, do you know what? I'm in my hibernation period. I'm in my processing. I'm in my little phase of wanting to kind of almost be in like hermit mode. And just figure out my own feelings, right? Figure out my own feelings, go inwards, be with my own children, and not necessarily have to have those conversations. And I didn't really, there's a lot of people I haven't told. I actually told a very small friendship group where we have that kind of like supportive energy with each other, which I'm very, very thankful to have that space where I could go in and sort of say, oh, by the way, this has happened. Like, but I didn't say it like on social media or anything like this. I'm not on Facebook, and I just didn't want to, partly because I didn't want to spoil everybody else's Christmases, you know, with my bad news. I didn't want to kind of like dump my baggage on other people. So partly because of that, and partly because I just didn't need it. I didn't need, like, my little small group was enough, making tit jokes with me. That was enough. So this does feel like perhaps messages coming in, messages from friends, messages of support, but then being a little bit like, I emotionally don't need this. And that's not anything, not to say anything bad about the other people. Like, there's people there that I'm like, you know, they've lost my mum too, you know, these family members, they're also grieving. So I don't know how that applies for you, but it's just kind of, just feels like being in a period of isolation and then coming back out, and perhaps there being a lot of social invitations or something like that. It's suddenly like there's lots of people around you. It's like you were doing, it's this energy of almost like I was doing perfectly well on my own. I kind of like living in my little fantasy world here. I kind of quite like, you know, exploring things myself and figuring things out for myself. It feels quite solitary, either solitary or like your immediate family or your close friends around you. It's like you don't necessarily need that broader circle. So maybe learning to say no, learning to say I don't need those I don't need to say yes to every single invitation that I get invited to. Just feel like there's one special, because there's all these fish and then there's this clamshell. So it's like there's one special friend that you're waiting to hear from, or there's a specific message that means something to you, or a specific invite that you're waiting to like reveal itself. So clear out the clutter. This could be talking about emotional clutter. Again, the Seven of Water can be emotional overwhelm. So clear out the clutter. It does feel like that's what's happening here in this Ten of Fire process, right? You're letting certain things go. It does feel like emotional clutter before taking a leap of faith onto a new situation, onto a new lily pad. Did you have Thumbelina in your last reading? Somebody had Thumbelina. It's got that kind of energy to it. Because Thumbelina, she gets propositioned a lot, and one of the things she got propositioned by is like this toad energy, and eventually she kind of like meets a prince. So again, coming through this kind of like kissing a lot of frogs to meet your prince energy. Spirit has your back. Spirit has a plan. So I want to say, if you're going forward into some sort of situation where it feels like you're facing unknown, or you're feeling very emotionally confused, trust Spirit, because Spirit has your back and Spirit has a plan. So let's figure these things out separately. So clear out the clutter. I'm connecting that. Let me just move it this way around, because I'm connecting that to that energy there. Like clearing out the clutter. Emotional clutter, emotional overwhelm. Sorry, wrong deck. What's that for? Fool. Yeah, you're about to take a leap of faith forward. And you want to do it without that kind of Ten of Wands baggage. Ten of Wands talks about heavy baggage, right? Heavy burdens, but being almost home. Tens are about endings to a cycle. So clearing out emotional burdens. So I feel like this is what you've been doing in that kind of hermit mode energy, in that kind of isolation or lockdown energy, perhaps, whatever that is. Christmas, you know, spending time at home, doing that soul searching. Perhaps some of you have literally been clearing your house out. I need to do that. I keep saying I'm going to clear out this wardrobe here. I need to go through my, because it's that energy of like when you have too much stuff, you forget about stuff that you've actually got. So it's like, excuse me, my tummy's rumbling, I need to go and get some more breakfast. You know, you forget about those kind of like really nice things that you've got that you own, and you're like, when you go through your cupboard, you're like, oh yeah, I'd really like to wear that again, I forgot I had that, but you can't see because there's all that clutter in the way. So that energy, and again, that could be an emotional thing that you're doing. Tell me about clear out the clutter. Because whatever it is, it's making you feel trapped, or it was making you feel trapped. So kind of getting, this is like the 2021 energy. So clearing out emotional baggage, clearing out emotional clutter that made you feel very, very trapped. I feel like you've got some kind of spirit guide here helping you do this. It's like spirit messages, right? Sending messages down to you, sending clues to you. This way, look up, look up. So yeah. Again, I think Sagittarius had this thing a while back about escaping spiritually. So it's like feeling trapped in your physical environment. Again, it could be like with this brown bear energy, this kind of lockdown energy. You can't actually go anywhere. So it's like you can't physically go anywhere. So you're going somewhere imaginatively. So that could talk about playing computer games, perhaps, you know, where you go and explore kind of a fantasy world like Skyrim kind of thing. Or it could be talking about your dreams, your fantasies, again, with this kind of like fantasy element of this kind of page of earth / page of cups that comes through. Very Pisces' ability to dream, to imagine. So escaping some kind of heavy burdens or physically restrictive environment through your mind space or through the imagination, whether that's through it could be like reading books as well, or watching TV programs, but it's like imagining yourself somewhere else. Okay, so Spirit has your back and Spirit has a plan. Spirit has your back, Spirit has a plan. What are you up to, Spirit? What are you doing here for Pisces? King of Air, Aquarius energy. And look again with that kind of, like the feathers falling down. It's like, here they are. So, King of Air, Spirit has a plan. So it could be that this is a spirit guide for you on the like astral plane, on the other side, some kind of a grandfather who's passed over, perhaps an Aquarian. It could be somebody who's very spiritual, who or it could be that this person is part of Spirit's plan. No, I need another card on that King of Air. King of Air, though, is normally, they don't normally communicate. They normally play the cards quite close to the chest. They're a strategist. Aquarius in their reading had this thing about being a bit too, like, the King of Air has strong boundaries. And with this being Aquarian energy, Aquarius had a message in their reading about the boundaries being too strong, almost like in a self-deceptive or self-sabotaging way where they weren't letting emotions in. So, Spirit has your back, Spirit has a plan. Something here about being more independent, financially independent, or financially, something to do with work or practical things, skills, money, finances, something practical, and being more skilled in it. So, no, sorry, being more independent in it. The Nine of Earth is like, I'm good on my own. I'm financially independent. I'm not codependent on any kind of situation. So it's like you can probably still work, but maybe you work for yourself. It's like your own business. So this could actually be some kind of lawyer or financial advisor, or yeah, somebody to do with like law or contracts, or like some kind of like logical, legal, like paperwork person, some kind of advisor. Advising you on starting your own business, advising you on how to take control of your own assets, something like that. So tell me more about Spirit has a plan, Nine of Earth and King of Air. Spirit has a plan, Spirit has got your back. Yeah, no, something to do with law or contracts, or it could be karma as well. The Justice card can be karma, but it's this Aquarian energy and this Justice card, they have a lot of integrity. They have a lot of, they do things kind of by the book, above board, but they will use loopholes, you know, they'll do things a lawfully way, but, you know, they're wise enough and smart enough that they can use loopholes. So, yeah, contracts, karma, doing things honestly, doing things the right way, doing things above board. But there's definitely something about not communicating, because in the tarot, the way that the sword is facing tells me a lot about whether there's communication happening or not. The King of Air normally has his sword pointing down, which says that he's holding back on communication. He's playing his cards close to his chest. Normally the Queen of Swords has the sword raised because she's much more open with her communication. She tells people her thoughts and ideas. Here, this Justice card, again, this Libran energy, so you've got a lot of air sign here. Her sword is facing down. So not communicating, or a decision that's made, a decision is final. There was a situation that wasn't balanced. There was a situation that wasn't fair because her scales are not balanced. So there's something, Spirit is, I want to say Spirit is helping you, advising you, sending you clues in a situation where you felt very trapped, to give you some kind of feeling of tangible independence. So not necessarily emotional independence, but actual physical, monetary independence in a situation that has felt unfair or unjust in the past. Ten of Earth there as well. It could be some sort of living situation, some kind of shared assets or workplace involved. What's on the bottom of that one? Life is a mystery. All right. Definitely a bit of a spillover between Aquarius and Pisces. That tends to happen a lot in my later signs. So I hope that was this. There's definitely some kind of strategy going on just with these people wearing masks. This person with the thing over the all these people have kind of got things on their heads, which I'm just kind of noticing. So I'm getting almost like behind the scenes energy. It feels like there's something that you don't know about. It feels like there's something that's being hidden from you. But I do feel like you're getting, it's almost like getting signs or getting messages. Like it's like you have an idea of something happening. Like you have an idea that something's happening behind the scenes, but you're not really. It's like it just feels like behind the scenes or behind the curtain. This kind of like strategy or plan. So there's no actual communication because it's all happening behind closed doors or behind the scenes, but it is to give you some level of independence. And I think you are being called to trust here. So having to trust the mystery, right? Spirit has your back, spirit has a plan, life is a mystery. So all you're asked to do in this meantime, while you're in timeout energy and the universe is bringing you this level of financial independence or skill, like independence from some kind of skill or something like that. It's like there's some kind of like practical independence here. What you're being asked in the meantime is to clear out the clutter, is to prepare for a new start. So it's like anything, you don't want to be carrying a lot of baggage with you going forward, I want to say. So especially if you're leaving some kind of like work situation that you've been in for a long time, or a home situation, you don't want to have a lot of luggage. So this is kind of like clearing, cleansing. So you may want to do things like smudging, or spiritual cleanses, salt baths, clearing your aura, clearing your energy, and physically clearing out your environment to make it less cluttered, because all these things will help the energy flow more freely when this kind of good stuff happens. That I don't necessarily think you're fully, I don't think you're in the loop, I don't think you're fully informed about this, but I think you're getting some kind of like hint or message here from this kind of King of Air energy, that there is a new start coming in some kind of way. All right, Pisces, interesting reading. Can't wait to see how that plays out for you more in 2022. So yeah, clear out the clutter, and best of luck with that. Take care of yourselves and Happy New Year. Bye bye.